pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any changes or additions to the agenda? Anyone? Okay. And then we have the minutes from April 5th to approve. I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from April 5th.
So move.
Okay. Second. Jamie seconds. So Mark made the motion and Jamie is seconding. Becky's online, great. And does anyone have any changes? I happen to notice two little things, and by the way, well, thank you for taking these. They're very nice. One change I had was they're both under the lead learners report. Brian, do you see under C for 8th grade business update? It says, it reads, they sold a grand total of 101 items when their initial group was 25.
The initial goal was 25.
Initial goal. Okay,
Yeah.
I figured there was one mistake on there. Okay, so the word group should change to goal. And then under F, there should be a percent after 92.7. Otherwise, it looks like we only had 92.7
Yeah.
kids at school.
Yeah, 2.4.
It's a bad percentage.
Yeah.
So that was all that I saw. Did anyone else see anything? And then I don't know, does Nicole take care of the changes or does Lori take care of them at this point?
Minutes changes.
Yeah.
With the
I was
clerk,
thinking it should form. Okay.
Lori Brown.
If you want this one.
I usually have to make the changes myself, Anne Marie.
I gave them to Nicole and she'll make them then. And then.
Oh, okay.
Submit it to Lori?
Lori Brown, yeah.
Okay. All right, so with those two changes, all in favor, say aye. Aye. That's unanimous.
I abstained.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't here.
Oh, that's right. So there were, okay, so four, and one abstention. Okay, next we'll move on to public participation and announcements. Any public participation there? Okay. And as far as announcements go, I always wonder, like, so I don't know, I just kind of wanted to let everyone know that the supervisory union is going to be having a barbecue on June 2nd, as well as a community forum to, with regards to the strategic plan for the SU, the supervisory union. So I just wanted to sort of announce that to everybody. Everyone in the community is welcome. You don't have to have kids attending. For everybody in the community to learn about what our goals are as a supervisory union, and to have a nice barbecue and get together with others in the community. So that'll be June 2nd, and it's taking place in Windsor. Do you know where exactly?
The park.
It's at the 5:30 at the Lowest Point Theater, which is the high school theater, and then the barbecue will be behind the theater in that grassy area behind.
Thank you, Larry. Okay, and then we'll move into the lead learners report. Brian?
All right, thank you. We'll let me get that up. All right, welcome to our lead learner report for May 19th, 2022. We're going to go ahead and start off with our amazing PTO. And so they're going to do a year in review. So let me switch the tab. We're all set.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamie Richardson. I'm the president of the Weathersfield School PTO. I'm a mom of a first grader, Georgia. My husband's Jonathan Richardson. He's my, he's part of the PTO by, being my partner. So he's home telling me not to pick my nose on camera tonight. But anyway, so my family is not relatively new to Weathersfield, but we moved here about 12 years ago, and of course started in this school in Georgia, starting kindergarten last year. So it's really been a privilege to be able to join this community and to finally be able to come into the school. And I think I've been here in the school more in the last few weeks, and I've made up for all the lost time that I wasn't in the school last year. So I am representing an amazing group of folks that I'll talk about in a moment. But I want to share with you, I think I have about 18 different slides, so I know I only have a few minutes to talk with you, but it's such a wonderful opportunity to come here and brag a little bit about what we've been able to accomplish this year as a relatively restructured kind of new PTO. So Mr. Martis is my scroller tonight, so I'll let him know to scroll through. So of course, from 21-22, I'm going to go through all of these bullets here on the slide, but we're a work in progress. So a lot of what we've done this year is learning and regrouping, reprogramming, sharing a lot of historical information with each other, getting excited, and experimenting. And so some of the things that we've done this year, go ahead, Mr. Martins. Actually, sorry about that. Go ahead, no, we can scroll, sorry. I want to talk about who we are. So here are some fun little candid photographs of some of our active PTOs. Myself, Meredith Kelly, Carrie Jewell, Casey Dillingham, Sheree Johnson, Jessica Brown, Wendy Allen, Kelly O'Brien, Kristen Grace, and Bethany. So there's some of us with some of our sweet Weathersfield kiddos. So one of the first things that we've done this year was we have to celebrate coming back to school. And we also had kind of a big deal of welcoming a new principal as well. So it gave us all this extra motivation to share some pride at our school. So we hope that when Mr. Martis showed up here on his first day of school, there was lots of chalk art and signage and also for our teachers and staff just celebrating the beginning of the new year. And so we tried to show it with a lot of visual aids as much as we could. And we really hadn't started fundraising or having any events yet. So it was quite a labor of love just to welcome everybody back to school. So that's first showing. Go ahead and scroll. One of the first things we did this year that we also had done the previous fall, we were very generously given donations for cider and donuts from Allen Brothers, and with a lot of support, financial support from families, friends, long distance relatives, community members, we were able to offer cider and donuts to our staff and our students early in the fall, which is something I think Mr. Martis was excited because he hadn't really been here for something that was very Vermont-esque. So, but the first year it was well received, and of course, who doesn't love cider and donuts? So we did it again this year. After that, we were graciously given permission from all of you, the previous board, to participate in Amazon Smile. So becoming a 501c3 organization gave us an opportunity to participate in being able to fundraise as a nonprofit. And so Amazon Smile is just a way for us to passively raise funds based off of Amazon purchases. So Amazon allows for you as a shopper to select any kind of a 501c3 or a particular type of nonprofit to give a very small portion of your orders to, and we get paid on a quarterly basis for that. And so it took a little while for us to get it going, and Amazon, of course, took a little while too, but it happened right before the holidays. So we were able to, make a couple $100 on all of those holiday shopping sprees you all went on. So we're very thankful for those. And it's an ongoing thing. So every couple of months we receive a notice from Amazon that says, here's your $50, $75, and we are very, very thankful. So if you haven't, everybody has a cause that they feel is important to them, so we completely respect that. But if you don't have an Amazon cause yet, please hunt us down. This is the way that you can do it and select the Weathersfield PTO to receive those funds. So of course, this brings brings us into trick or treat time. This is October. I had no idea what Among Us was before October, but I soon learned from all the youngsters that it was a game, an online game that was very, very popular. So the PTO was invited to participate in trunk or treat over at the old Weathersfield school. And it was a rainy, cold, a lot like tonight, actually. And so we stood under a tent that BJ gratefully and probably gracefully put up for us. And we were able to give out candy and stickers and all kinds of things to kiddos. And we actually had great participation because, of course, the year before was COVID and no one could do anything. So this was one of those first opportunities. It was outside. It didn't matter that it was raining. Kids were all done up. Parents were all there. Grandparents, it was awesome. And so our theme was Among Us. We participated in the first community dinner here. That was amazing. We gave away just a little treat that we threw in the bag with all of the goodies. But so it was not our event, as you all know, but it was beautifully received, and we completely gave away all the food. And I have to tell you, I waited until the end of the night and got whatever was left over, and I still think about that spaghetti, that meal. And I say to Georgia every time, like, when is your spaghetti and meatball day, because I've had it and it is amazing. So kudos to the kitchen staff, and it was a real pleasure to be standing out and meeting a lot of new people and just kind of wearing that PTO hat and making sure that people know they were active and around. That was a lot of fun. Can't miss the holidays. So we gave, the previous year we did something similar as well with some cookies. This year we gave cookies and cocoa packets, and little candy canes and Weathersfield stickers, a little packet to all the kiddos and the staff to be able to just celebrate the holidays for us. Again, another touch point, nothing huge, but as we were still kind of building up our fundraising and just wanting to continue to do those touch points, whether it's during the holidays or every month, to our staff and our students. It was important. It's oftentimes you get on a tangent of wanting to just give to students or you just want to give to staff. And we really want to find equality in our giving, which I'll talk about with one. So anytime we can throw a little something on them, it felt really fun. So we've had our first apparel sale during the holiday season, which is always a hot time. Everybody's buying for their kiddos or their family members, and it's cold, so everybody needs a hoodie. Kids are growing like weeds, so they need new clothing. And so we had a wonderful winter sale. And then in the March time, we brought in a couple of new logo options. We wanted to celebrate Panther Pride. So you'll see, if you didn't see during the apparel sale, that we have the traditional Weathersfield logo. And then we brought in those Panther Pride for paw. This was a wonderful sale that we did during the spring. We brought in some new items like a canvas tote, a couple different shirt. I think you guys wearing, I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's kind of lightweight, the athletic. 3/4 zip, and so having a lot of good feedback on some color options, and honestly, the school and media were very gracious to allow the PTO to take this on as our fundraiser. So the apparel sale used to be kind of a break-even thing the school used to offer, and they handed that over to us to allow it to be a fundraiser for the PTO, and it has served us really well. So right now, we're actually in the process of working to try and offer an apparel sale that might last longer than only twice a year. I already had buyers remorse the second my items came in here in the spring. I saw everybody in their new garb, and I said, oh my gosh, I didn't get this, this, and this. Who's that extra that I can buy from? It became like, trading hogs or whatever for my childhood. So anyway, so look forward to some more items maybe coming soon, and just being able to do that more frequently. Seasonally, maybe 365, who knows? But we're actively working on it, and some other cool designs. A lot of schools are getting really creative with a lot of their pride options. So having, a panther jumping out of the front of the shirt, or having all of the different ways that you celebrate your school, different funky logos and stuff like that. So we just want to open it up so that there's all kinds of options. More to come. So following in March, we also had our calendar raffle. Thank you so much to all of you that participated. Again, it was a really wonderful fundraiser for us. We had to highlight Ryan Woodbury because he was our grand prize winner. Every month. We were so excited. So I did the Facebook Live to announce this. And so I known Ryan my whole life. So that was a lot of fun. And he was very willing to pose with his cold hard cash for a photo. So we want to thank everyone who participated in the raffle. It was very successful, and we certainly hope to do it again, maybe just once a year. So one of the things we've been able to do with our fundraising is to be able to provide teacher mini grants. We've always provided mini grants as a PTO. There was kind of a lull for a little while. I think COVID rocked us, the year before last. So we weren't really able to do anything. No one needed any money because no one do anything. And so this year we wanted to promote and announce that we had these mini grants. So we were allotted a couple of grants to be able to then in turn provide these to our teachers. We've given over $1,000 in mini grants this year. And from anything to these lovely ladies are our kindergarten teachers who were able to give swag bags to all of our incoming kindergartners. They're starting out with a little Panther Pride. We're sponsoring or supporting Field Day, Mrs. Berry's Heart Challenge, and different things like that. So these are the most fun part of our PTO meetings because we get to see what those teachers are really thinking outside of the box and they want to do, and they may not have the funds. So we're really trying to help. So one of our fundraising efforts is to keep funds in a mini grant pool so we can continue to offer that. We try and celebrate as much as we can. We're kind of an excitable group. So we also celebrated our bus driving staff. We gave them all a gift certificate to the new cafe in a Stuckey so they could go and have a little breakfast or lunch and treat themselves for working really, really hard on those buses all day, every day. The reason I've lived at this school for the last 6 weeks or so is because of the PTO snack cart. We are, I'm sure everybody knows this, so briefly, at all of the home baseball and softball games, right outside in the back of the school, we offer hot dogs and popcorn and candy and Gatorades, and it's been rain, although, tonight I was gonna have to run in from outside tonight from the PTO booth to do this, but the games were canceled, but we've done it in rain and in 90-degree weather, which is probably why it's so tan from slinging hot dogs so much. But this has been such a joy, an awesome fundraiser for us. It's a great way for us to be present here at all these games, bring that pride. We've been very well received. So if you haven't stopped in to a home softball or baseball game, if you want to come for dinner, please come on over. Most of our families at least spend 1 or 2 nights a week here having dinner here at PTO. And so we're doing it here this spring, and we'll see how that goes. We'll assess, but we'd really like to continue for the fall and the winter season as well, if we are allowed to continue. One of the most recent celebrations that we had was the Teacher and Staff Appreciation Week. So every door, all the staff, all the teachers were decorated and celebrated with little quotes from their kiddos or from their peers. We had a fiesta theme. We wanted bright colors. We wanted party. We wanted everybody to feel like an explosion of color was happening because stuff is happening again. So we have cupcakes, and we hired a taco truck and gave everybody little cactuses, and we had trail mix bars, and we think it was a whole lot of fun. We had a lot of great feedback, and the school was so bright and colorful and happy that week. I was here all the days of that week, taking a peek at stuff and prepping for it. And the teachers were so wonderful and so thankful. This is one of the things that brings us the most joy because the teachers and staff are working so hard. So the least we can do is provide them a week worth of, a cupcake or a trail mix or a little gift. We are incredibly thankful. But we also recognize that Teacher Appreciation Week also fell during SBAC testing, which was a really interesting challenge. So the poor teachers were hoping that a cupcake got them through some of the hard days and the taco truck at the end of the week. But the kids were really working so hard for a couple of weeks as well. And so we recognized we want to make them little survival kits. So in those bins, custom-made bins by Jess Brown on our PTO, stress balls, gum, fidgets, things that were appropriate to be able to have while they were doing their testing, help them focus, to help them stress relieve, and then just something silly and cute. A couple different days they got a little mint, or they got a little pencil, a little quirky saying on it. So that was all kind of happening during that same Teacher Appreciation time period. There was a lot going on, but just wanted to remind the students and the staff that we're thinking of them and we recognize that it was a challenging time. So those are just some highlights from what we did during this year. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but those are the big ones. I wanted to talk really briefly about what you can look for from us in the future. One, we're really thankful for the wonderful year and all the opportunities that you've given us this year. And it's a little bit sad that it's kind of coming to an end, but that gives us a lot of time to do some planning this summer without worrying about other things that kind of need to happen so rapidly. So when I was talking about equality and support, we're always making sure that we're supporting the staff, the teachers, and the students equally. So we want to make sure everything we're doing something every month that we're touching all those points at the same time. Well, everybody in the school is important to us, and we want to make sure we're celebrating them all the best that we can. We do have a big goal of gifting to the school. We're not sure what that is. We'll talk to whoever we need to when we agree on what we want to do, but it's important for us to really make sure that the school, whether it's something for the playground or it's a garden or something that makes sense, that just brings a little extra either pride or life back to the school. We want to think about something a little bit more significant as a thank you for all that you've allowed us to do. And making sure that we're making an impact with that given. We're going to continue fundraising. We've found a lot of opportunities that feel appropriate for fundraising, and starting to look at maybe some bigger opportunities to get larger sums so we can stop pecking at our community as much and all of our parents and all of you, and so that we can continue to fund all of these great things and more. And then again, kind of that same topic of regular touch points with all of you, being present here, being available for any questions, concerns, ideas. We certainly want to open that up to the community as well. We're available. We want to know what's working. If you have any feedback, we're just always here to hear it and listen. And so with that, I would just again want to say thank you for tonight. And thank you for an incredible year. We're really proud and honored to be a part of this school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martis.
Thank you, Jamie, for everything. I truly, from the moment I stepped on campus, I felt welcome.
Great.
I appreciate that. I know with the chalk, you guys had to do it twice because like I quickly learned here in Vermont that the weather can change.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys doing all that. So, and everything you've done for our staff and our students this year. It's been amazing. So thank you for being part of our family. All right. Next part, Weathersfield athletic update. So we are in full swing with baseball and softball, as well as track and field.
Wait, I'll say it.
Yes, I have been actually. So it's been great to be able to see the athletes out there. Also our PTA out there helping out and giving back, being out there for our community and just being there, giving them a service. Our students are enjoying it. It's been nice with track and field. They're having a successful year so far. We combined that with Windsor. So they've been doing fantastic. We're having our second annual Panther Paw Pride Night, which is on Wednesday, June the 8th. So that's coming up before you know it. It'll be there. But in athletics, I think we've got a couple more weeks left. And like tonight, Jimmy was able to be here because it got canceled because of the weather. All right, so community dinner / open house, student showcase, whatever you want to call it. We click on this real quick. You guys have the flyer there in front of you. But we are doing our community dinner and our open house. That is coming up next Thursday. And so we have been sharing information with our community because we want to invite as many people from our community as possible to get here to see the school, showcase what we've been doing, because I know we've been closed up for almost for the last 2 years, to be able to give everybody that opportunity to come in. Our 8th graders are doing the community service project as far as serving dinner. So they decided on the menu. They're going to be doing a barbecue. They're going to be doing burgers and hot dogs. I got Chief Spalding to manage the barbecue. I figure that's a good thing for him to do. If there's a fire, he should know how to put it out. And then also Police Chief Daniels is coming as well. So really trying to get the community out here and get that word out here to be able to showcase and see our school. And then, so dinner will be from 5 to 6:30. And then from 6 to 7, a little bit of overlap for those people that are coming a little late to still grab dinner. Then you can come in and see the classrooms, meet the teachers, talk to them, see all the wonderful things that our students have done all year. So the students are doing everything. They even did the flyer, which was nice. So they're meeting next week, and it's part of that community service project. And it's going to be something that our 8th graders are going to give back every year to do that final dinner before they move on to high school. SBAC testing is almost over. So the main part of it is done. 5th 5th grade and 8th grade did it April 19th, week up for science. Then we had a week off, and then we started in full swing, just like Jamie was saying, right during teacher and staff appreciation week. So they did English language arts, and then they did math testing. We do have a couple of students that need to do some makeups, getting those finished, and then we can put that behind us and move on. Our kids did work really hard on it this year, as well as our staff. So hopefully our test scores will show that. But they've given it their effort, and it's done, which is nice to have that piece. I haven't had to do SBAC testing in 3 years, because in California, we didn't do it for the last 2 years. So it was nice to get back in that swing of doing it again. Okay, STEAM camp. We have staff. So I have 3 people signed up for sure, doing interviews, basing it on final numbers as far as who else want to do it. I have 3 applicants. I'm guessing 3 additional applicants. I'm guessing I'm going to have to hire 2 more, because we are going to keep those class sizes small. When we sent out the original interest form, we had about 26, 28 families that said they were interested with multiple kids. So with 4 teachers plus a support staff or paraprofessional, that'll keep the numbers relatively low in those classes. So we just need to get confirmation on the numbers. So that'll be going out to families this weekend so that they can sign up and make sure that they're committing to having that opportunity for their kids to be here. So excited about that. So we're just working on that part, but it was nice to finally get numbers for our staff here. And so we have 3 of our own staff members, and then 2 from within inside, hopefully 2 from within inside the supervisory unit. So
Do we know the dates on that yet?
yeah, it's the same dates. It's July 12th through August 5th. Should have that memorized, but yeah, I think that's it. Okay, staffing update for regular staff. We're doing it. So we were able to find a music teacher. So we're losing a music teacher to Florida. We gained one from Florida. So we did the swap-a-roo there. So Samuel Francis, who's been a music teacher for quite a few years, he's originally from the Vermont area, then has moved around a little bit. It's been in New York, been in Florida for the last 10 years, decided he wanted to come home to Vermont. So he applied, great candidate, signed his contract. He should actually be landing back in Vermont next week. So we're excited to have him. We got a new 5th grade teacher. She came by today to tour the school. Christina McCutcheon, got her from Springfield. So she's had about 16 years of experience teaching. So excited to have her on board as well. Then we got a Spanish teacher. So it was pretty awesome when she came in. As she was in and the hiring committee and myself were interviewing her, we sort of developed the job around her skill set, because she had this amazing personality and this love of life for teaching. And so she is a retired teacher, but is one of these people that wants to continue to work. And so she can only work a partial contract. So it's a good way for us to introduce a foreign language back in the school. So she's going to be a 40% full-time equivalent. And so she's going to be focusing on the younger kids, like K-4 is what we're thinking as far as the schedule. She does a lot of singing with the kids, and she's got the Spanish background. She's got an amazing background. Just to listen to her is just amazing. I'm lack of a better word there, amazing. So she's awesome. So we're excited to have her on board, getting all her credentialing stuff taken care of. And then we did get a new social emotional interventionist. She actually came by this week as well to tour the school and to sort of follow with Mrs. Shambo to see sort of what she's doing and what she's going to do. She comes to us from a private sector, having some experience with students and their emotional needs. So that's Shannon Harrington. And then we got one more paraprofessional. We got Tammy Rice, longtime family here. And she's excited to join with us and be one of our paraprofessionals. So we're still looking for a K or a 5-8 math interventionist. So we have to refly that, and we're still looking for one more paraprofessional. But we're good to go so far, which is exciting. Leader in Me. So we're continuing on that journey with Leader in Me. So our Lighthouse team has met numerous times. One of the areas of focus that we're working on is the specific expectations for students. So we have that common language across the entire school. So we're going with our rules of being responsible, being respectful, and being safe. And then we've broken up each of those areas into subcategories. So they'll have specific expectations of what they're going to do in the cafeteria line. So as a staff, we put up different areas. The staff put some input of what they would expect to see in those different specific areas. And then the Lighthouse team narrowed those down to make them simpler for students to be able to see, and so that everybody can remember, because there's nothing worse than having, 50 million different rules or expectations and then nobody being able to remember them. So we're trying to keep them simple so that kids can remember them, staff can remember them, and we have that common language. And then in the fall, those things are going to be explicitly taught. So like Mrs. Goki, who's our cafeteria lead, she will be teaching the kids the expectations of what they need to do in the cafeteria lines. Custodians will be teaching the kids of what they need to do in, like, how they need to make sure they throw the trash away in the bathroom, and just different areas. BJ and Carrie will be doing the same thing in the office of what you do when you walk into the office. And so everybody will be involved in that to make sure that we're being proactive with our students and make sure that those expectations are clear to everybody. We have that common language across the school. Our enrollment numbers still holding strong at 240. We didn't gain any new students, didn't lose any students. Our attendance did drop a little bit. 89.89% was our average daily attendance for this last time period. We've had lots of little cases of kids doing extended vacations or being sick. But we're still holding strong, and we're getting them here for those items. COVID update, students in grades 3 through 8, still eating in the lunchroom, doing good. K through 2, we decided not to uproot them from their practice of eating in the lunchroom during, or eating in the classrooms. They were pretty comfortable with that. So we'll slowly start that next year, take a look at that and see. The staff has really found in K through 2 that it benefits them, that the kids are eating more, are a little bit calmer when they come in. So we're going to look at maybe doing sort of a hybrid model, because we do want to introduce them. The goal with Mrs. Goki in the cafeteria is also to be giving some lessons on nutrition throughout the day, of why certain things, like they tried pesto pasta with chicken yesterday. It was amazing, by the way. It was better than the spaghetti. It was amazing. But then give kids the feedback on what it is, give them the information of what pesto is. And this is a pesto that happens to be nut-free, so that students with nut allergies, so to go over and do that stuff. So it is important to get kids in here, at least for some of it, and to have that generalization of manners and how they behave in a setting when they go out. Lockers are being used. Tests are available for students and staff. We're still sending out emails to families if there is, and some of you parents have probably gotten a couple of them. Anytime there is a case, I do send out an email just to let families know, just so that you're aware that those have gone out. Events are coming back to school, and then students are able to mix the pods across the different grade levels. Building community, continuing those monthly conversations. It was great yesterday. We met as a staff. We had our staff meeting, and we calendared our events for next year. And one of the important ones that the staff wanted back on there was the Fire Safety Month, which Chief Spalding and I have been talking about that. So we're planning that for October of this year to make sure we have that Fire Safety Month going on. Also, BJ and I are part of the Weathersfield Emergency Preparedness Team. So we got to meet with that and have the town office. It was really fun to be able to do that, and then see some people that I haven't met yet and put a name with a face. We got to do a fire drill last week. It was an unexpected fire drill. Jamie's laughing, and so is Emery, because they heard about it. So Chief Spalding and Chief Daniels came by to do a fire drill at schools, because supposedly somebody turned 50, and they said that the candles from that person set off the fire alarm, which didn't really happen that way, but they made a big deal of it. But it was nice because they were able to practice a fire drill and have the kids do it, and they got a big kick out of it for that person. Also continue to meet with Chief Daniels regarding school safety, which is nice to be able to talk to him about safety areas, and for them to be here at that fire drill to see how our kids are exiting safely and everything else with that. And then I get to be the Windsor prom judge on Saturday night. So I'm not really sure how I got the opportunity to do that, but my wife and I are doing that on Saturday. So building that community across with other parts of our SU as well. Student productions, Weatherfield's Got Talent. We have 29 students that are participating in it. So over 10%, about 13% of our population is going to be on stage and presenting on June 6th at 6 p.m. Excited about that. And then students tomorrow in grades K through 6 will be going to Heartland to see our students. We've got 5 students in the Willy Wonka production, and to be able to see a snippet of that going on tomorrow. So we're taking a field trip, our first field trip, getting on buses with about 190 kids, just 7th and 8th graders staying here, and going over to Heartland to see that tomorrow. So that'll be fun to see students on the bus and at another school with a production. Oh, whoa, I just went too fast. All right, Staff Appreciation Week. Jamie already covered it all. but it was amazing. Everything, Fiesta time was great. I loved it. I felt a little bit like California with between cactuses and tacos. So it made me feel really a little bit back at my previous life. Taco truck was amazing. Everybody got to celebrate, all of our entire staff. And then we even got a special photograph from our state representative, John Harrison, thanking all the teachers and staff for their hard work. So that was nice to be able to have that. We've had it since we've been able to have visitors back in the school. We had the Vermont Energy Education Program come by. So VEEP, they came to the classrooms, discuss energy and how it's used. And they teach these concepts through the next generation science standards, which is perfect because that's what we have for standards here in Vermont. There's some more kids working on energy and have different products to do. So these are fourth grade classrooms. We were able to have our high school fair on April 20th. We had 11 high schools, I believe, that were here. They were able to answer questions and sort of sell their product of the high school and what they can offer for our students as they're making that choice to go on to, or not making the choice, they're making the choice of which high school they're going to go to. They're all going to go to high school next year, but making that choice of which high school they're going to go to next year. It was also great to have some other students. We had some sixth graders, some seventh graders that wanted to start getting that idea of where they wanted to go, because we did open it for everybody to really start thinking about that of high school and where they're going. And then eighth graders have had the opportunity to visit some of the high schools and shadow a student. We had 9 students yesterday that went to Windsor. Other students have done it where maybe appointments have gone on their own. We've had Woodstock, Compass, Fall Mountain, just in a few of the high schools. So students are getting ready to go to those and having that opportunity. All right, fourth grade students also learned about government. So John Harrison came in and taught them about how laws become laws in Vermont. And that was great to have him come in, and he did that on 2 separate occasions for both fourth grade classes. Okay, we're still working on our school improvements at Makerspace at Weathersfield. Larry's going to talk a little bit more about that, but I want to sort of show you some of the ideas or some of the furniture possibilities for some of the Makerspace and some of the things we're looking at. There we go. So what we're looking at doing, not that one, but so in the library, we're looking at more flexible seating for the kids. Right now, they have round tables in there and chairs, so it's a pretty common, I'm going to use the term old school library. So we're trying to make it more 21st century where the students have the opportunity. It's more of a casual setting in there for students to be able to sit at, to be able to read books, to be able to have Tara do a lesson in the library involved with reading. So we're looking at some more flexible seating type of options, and then we're going to repurpose those tables into the staff room, because it's nice to have that round table for collaboration when teachers are in there. Because right now they have folding tables, so we'll repurpose those. Let's see, these are some of just the different options. We've got some different things priced out as far as what those are going to look like. And then let me go. And then these are just, I just gave you 2 examples here. And then these are some of the tables that we're currently looking at to have in the Makerspace where students can actually build and work on. So they would have the butcher block tabletop. So they're pretty indestructible. I mean, they could be destructible, but this is one of the designs.
Sand it out.
Yeah, you can sand it out, gouges, all this stuff. And I already figured that Mark can help us out if something happens to it.
It's narrower than 27 inches. I can refinish.
Okay. So it's just a great opportunity. It's something that's going to last quite a while for our students. And again, that's just sort of the model. It's a little bit more modern, a little bit more flexible. And they'll have a combination of workstations in there, plus regular tables. So if Tara does want to do more of a traditional lesson in there with kids, she'll be able to take the students from the library into the Makerspace and vice versa, because we're going to open that up as well. And then upcoming events. So we have a 6th through 8th grade dance tomorrow night. Woo, woo, 6th through 8th grade dance, 6 to 8 p.m. right here in this room. This is going to be Weathersfield Dance Club tomorrow night for all our 6th through 8th graders. So that's exciting for that. Kindergarten registration and screening is on May 23rd. We have 23, BJ?
Yeah.
Yep, 23 kids. So that'll be an all-day process on Monday. That's the day that the kindergarten students get to stay home. And then we have our new kindergarten students come in and go through the whole screening and registration process so we get them ready. Student showcase, which I already talked about, that's on May 26th and dinner. You guys have the invite there ready to go from 5 to 7 p.m. early release day on the 27th. All students released at 12 p.m. 8th grade graduation dinner dance is on June 3rd, Friday, June 3rd, from 5 to 9:30 p.m. It is just for 8th graders this year. And it's going to be pretty amazing. So I invite all of you guys to come. It's not going to be the pizza and punch. It's going to be a lot more formal for the kids. Our students have worked really hard, and they've had things that they haven't got the opportunity to do. And so giving something a little extra for them, and it's a great way to start a new tradition here as well. Also, 8th grade is going on May 24th to the Holbert Center. So they're doing that on Tuesday. So that's another field trip. They didn't get to do that in the fall. So we're going to do it. Talent show June 6th. Also the Scholastic Book Fair is going to buy one, get one. 8th grade graduation Tuesday, June 14th. Last day of school, June 17th. And it's a wrap. Year 1. Almost done. So,
Busy.
and that's it. Any questions? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Up next, we have the superintendent's report, which today is going to be given by Barry because Dr. Baker is he has something else going on this evening.
Reloading. David is at the Vermont Superintendent's Association conference, so I got tagged. You're in. Do this tonight. Okay, here we go. So some general updates. The equity audit proposals are back. We have 4 proposals. We are partnering with Springfield. This was presented at the last SU meeting. We have a joint team. We're going to vet the proposals next week or so. We had to wait for Springfield to appoint the team, but now we're now vetting the proposals. Shout out to Tina Canfield in HR, who's done a great job getting both the union and low contracts in order. The good news is that the contracts are returned, and we only had a few extension requests. Last Friday, we had a parent gathering. Mike Nicholson helped us on the portrait of graduate and around student self-directed learning, and there was representation from Weathersfield. Now this actually started with Brian. Brian, in his previous district, he said, we used to get 911 calls if we go to the building principal. And so I looked into that, and we could do that. So we've done it, and now it's done. And Brian was the first one. So now anytime 911 is dialed in any of the buildings, it goes to the building principal, they get it to their cell phone, and it goes to their email. And SUI, it'll go to David and myself anytime somebody dials 911. So again, so thanks a lot to Brian and Weathersfield for leading the charge on that, and we're happy to have it. And we now have it at all the schools. The middle level work continues. We have a timeline, 1 more meeting, and then we're going to present the final product and the timeline to the SU board in June. The calendar is final. It's been up on the website for a while now. The school day schedules are in process, and we're going to extend the day by 10 to 15 minutes, which should bring it back to pre-COVID times across the SU. As Anne Marie mentioned at the beginning, June 2nd is our community forum. At 5:30 of the forum, we're going to go over the role of the board and strategic plan. And after that, there'll be a barbecue right outside the Lois White Theater at Windsor High School. We are waiting the decision on the interim superintendent, possibly Monday is what we're hearing. So there will be a special executive session of the SU board at 5:30 on Monday, and at 6:30, the regularly scheduled SU board meeting. The last day of school is a noon dismissal on June 17th, and an SU-wide 7th and 8th grade dance, I believe, put on at the Windsor Rec. The Equity Task Force will be meeting soon and prioritize their action steps. Mary Dannon's work is who we're working with. We have several meetings set up with Mary and the SU board upcoming. I have the 5-year maintenance plan. I can do that as part of my report. Anne Marie, we can do it later. It's up to you.
Yeah, we can do it now. That's fine.
Okay. All right, so you should be able to see it better on your actual computers than up here. But so one of the things that happened when David went to this new system back in the fall, was he wanted 5-year maintenance plans for each building. We finished Mount Scotney in April. It was adopted by them April 11th. And now we're bringing Weathersfield this meeting. And it's been on the website for a while in draft form, I think since April 12th. It's been on the finance and operations section of the website. And we're in Hartland this summer. There's basically 2 parts to the plan. The first part, which you see right now, is a preventative maintenance plan. These are the things that you do every year to spend money to keep the building in good shape, that you don't have to spend a lot of money down the road, just like your house. So we call this preventative maintenance. So you can see all the categories there. Alarm system, fire, carpet, floors exterior. Now you'll notice the far left is 22, 23. That's next school year. There is no new money. This is what you approved and the voters approved budget-wise. So that's our baseline. And I went and worked with, hold on a second.
Sorry.
And I worked with Jim, many hours with Jim on the preventative maintenance side to ask him what he would be comfortable with going forward. So you can see the maintenance upgrades and what does the blue mean? So for example, roofing is $1,000, and for roofing, not next year, the year after. And the blue is, the green is necessary. The blue is needed but can be deferred. And then I have totals down there. So if Jim felt that the funding, the preventative maintenance to the hilt, well, a number that he's comfortable with, would be roughly a $7,000 to $8,000 increase in what you're currently spending per year. And again, out of an almost $8 million budget to keep this building in good shape. Does anybody have any questions about the preventative maintenance before I go on to the capital projects? No? Okay. So you'll notice up here in the top right-hand corner in italicized, I have pending Act 72 and 74 outcomes. So this doesn't really apply to Weathersfield. You will have PCB testing done because some of your building is older. You renovated the building. It's not a brand new building. So there will be testing done, but there's nothing here that you are asking for. There should be very few surprises here, by the way. You just heard Brian talk about the Makerspace. I know we've been talking about it a lot, and that's your biggest ticket item. So Act 72 and 74 do a number of things. They create a inventory of all the buildings in the state of Vermont. They rank them based on the amount of life left in the buildings. They provide possible monies for schools that need remodeling or renovation. It also provides for testing, and PCB is the big scare around Vermont because you saw what it did to one of the high schools, one school and one high school up north. And but there's nothing here with the capital project. If you look down below under preventative maintenance, that would affect that. So for example, in Albert Bridge, they're in need of a roof. And we could do the roof this year. We can't have it too late, but we could have done the roof this year, but we're going to put it off to next year after the PPD testing because it doesn't make sense to pour $150,000 onto a roof if something comes up in the test. We hope nothing will, but that would be a bad use of the taxpayers' dollars. So that's why I have pending Act 72 and 74 outcomes. Looking down below, you'll see the items that we are asking for so Jim can get to work this summer. The boiler regasket is its highest priority. Heat pumps for the music and the art when it comes to the amount, there's very little insulation in that room, and there's no real ceiling. So there's very little insulation. So we'd like to do some heat pumps for those 2 rooms. Carpets, I believe there's 3 classrooms Brian's picked out for carpeting.
Yeah, the music room.
Yeah.
The office area.
Yep.
And then the library.
Okay. And the Makerspace, which you've heard about for months. And in the cafeteria tables, we would like to improve. And the capital portion of the tractor. So you put 12,000 in the budget that the voters approved in the general fund, fiscal year 23 for a tractor. And then we're asking for 13,000 to combine it and get you a tractor. So two things I'd speak on specifically, the Makerspace. I'm glad Brian put that up there because Windsor's had a Makerspace, and we call it the Hub at Windsor for I think 7-8 years. Heartland has had their Makerspace and Hub with some of those very similar tables for I think 4 or 5 years. So I think if COVID never happened, I think Weathersfield, this would have happened. But, we kind of got paused on everything. And so I think it's gonna be great for the kids in the community. I'm gonna sign my daughter up for Steve if we get Makerspace. The tractor. This would allow you for your sidewalks and for your driveway, snow removal, your athletic fields. It can be used for all these purposes. And you already use a tractor now. You use Windsor's. Windsor has a tractor. Heartland has a tractor. Albert Bridge doesn't. And Weathersfield, if you approve this, would be like all those other schools. So this is the total amount for next summer for this year would be $113,000. We're asking to come out of capital reserve. The current balance of which is 300 as of May 6th is 341,000. So if we would like to get a motion and a vote tonight to approve that, it's going to be in the minutes because we're going to transfer from capital reserve for that money. I know financials were also listed on here, and Anne-Marie and I talked before that. They were given via email in March. I don't want to say the word surplus, but you are currently projected out to have be in the black. So what amount, we'll find out in June 30th. So you have money, and we would prefer to use that in capital reserve for accounting purposes. Because if you end the year with an actual surplus that you can see, then you can decide what to do with that next budget season. Whether to put it back into the capital reserve and replace what you just bought, or to break that. No, unless you have anything for me, this will, if we can get a vote, then this will go up it'll stay up on the website. I'll just remove the word draft from the top.
Does anyone have any questions about the capital reserve spending that they're asking for?
I'd just like to a little more on the tractor. You're saying that it's going to do our sidewalks. Is it going to do the parking lot?
You have snow removal for the parking lot.
Right.
It will, it should defray some of the cost of that total bill. Right, because that person, you could move stuff for the tractor.
Right.
It will not,
Do
I want to
snow-
be clear, it will not completely erase your snow plowing bill.
right. And what's it going to do for the fields?
So there's, so the tractor will have attachments, so you can do your fields. You can grade your fields and
It'll have a
make sure
mowing
your fields are
attachment.
top
Will it have
notch.
a
Yeah,
mowing
like I said,
attachment?
the same. What we do now is we put Windsor's tractor on a flatbed, and we bring it up here and we do fields. So you'll be able to do your fields
We can
in
maintain
addition
them
to all the other things
on our timeline, not on somebody else's timeline.
on your timeline. Takes a good point
And then,
when you want it done.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to speak up, but I will. And then
No,
also like for snow removal, as far as pushing snow, because they take care of our parking lots and push it, and sometimes, even though we haven't pushed it out of the way, things don't melt as fast, and then kids are up there, then they can knock down some of that snow a little bit quicker, take things down. We have big snow areas, they'll be able to move those. There's a lot they can do with it. I've learned that quickly after just a year here in the snow, so.
Question?
Does anyone else have any questions? Does the tractor, does this cost include the attachment? Or do you?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, what I heard from Jim, this would be all in. So you've already budgeted 12,000 in fiscal year 23 general fund, and then the 13,000 here will get you everything you need.
That's Diane.
I just want to speak in favor of the heat pump for the music room. So last year, because my eighth grade class was so large, we started in my room that I'm in normally, and then we ended up down in the band room. And not this past winter, but the winter before, my eighth grade students had to wear their winter coats, hats, and mittens because the temperature down in the band room would get down into the 50s. And there was no place that we could go because we had to be 6 feet apart, and I had over 20 students. So we had to stay down there, and that's when I initiated, having the temperature checked, because my students had to stay in that room all day long because we didn't switch classes. And it wasn't fair for them or the paraprofessionals that were in that room or our staff members to go in there when it was in the 50s in a class. So I was glad to hear that part of that.
Thank you. And then, as far as the Makerspace, 45,000 goes, that's all inclusive for everything that you'll need, or?
That's all the furniture, all the storage areas. It's not all the stuff that goes in it, but that's all the long-term things that will be in there. And that's Makerspace and library combination.
And you're planning on getting like grants and other things to buy the actual?
To buy, yeah, we already have some things hopefully coming, approval, and then other things will continue to get, so. And then some of the things from Steam Camp that we're using that are non-consumable items will help to build those items as well. Materials.
I guess I put that down for items for action then.
Yeah, that's what Mouse said again. And make it clear for the capital projects, you would only approve the 113. You can't hold the hands of other boards, right? So like, you can't say, we're gonna buy this in year 2, this is just a plan, but this, we need to vote for the 113.
So 113.
You don't need to vote on the 17 for the circular pump rebuild replacement that we put in there.
And
Because
that's
that would be a different board, right? That would be this time next year.
So that's
Oh,
for
same
FY,
thing, yeah.
that's for FY.
That'd be FY24. So just FY23, $113,000 to be moved out of capital. That's what the motion needs to say. And this is all up on the website under finance and operations. So they can see it anytime.
Okay. And that's, you're done with your.
I'm done unless you need anything else from me.
All right, and we already had the PTO update, so I guess we're on to items for action.
We have Hicks Nichols still.
Huh?
Hicks Nichols.
Oh, Hicks Nichols, I'm sorry, I missed that one. Hicks Nichols, sorry. We have Hicks Nichols. Yeah, we moved over that. We have Ms. Stilson here to speak about the Hicks Nichols Committee.
So my name is Diana Stilson. I am the 678 math teacher here at Weathersfield. I am the chairperson for the Hicks Nichols Committee. We have pretty much a new group on the committee. Jackie Antonovich has volunteered to be the school board representative. We had a meeting back in April, on April 8th, to talk about 2 applications. And it's my understanding through the process that we discussed them and we said yes to them. But I have to come to the board, someone comes to the board to talk about the 2 applications. And then the board, I guess, has the final say in this. Jackie's helping me by nodding Jackie's head over there because Jackie's been on both sides of it. She's been on the committee and then she's also been the board representative. So she's helpful on that. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I made copies of the application. If you're supposed to see them, or am I supposed to just talk about them?
Both. You can talk about them, but we'll gladly take them as well.
Okay. So let's see here. Here. I think. Yeah, so here is one of them. And then here is. If there's not enough to everybody, then we can work on it, yeah. So as was mentioned a couple of times this evening at the board meeting, one of the applications is for Makerspace. Brian Marquez and Carl Smith, the librarian, put it in. And it talks about the project description, the goals and purpose and so forth on that. They would like to get some Makerspace supplies. The purpose would be, as you've been talking about it, problem solving, critical thinking. Mrs. Smith, our librarian, would be maintaining and facilitating the Makerspace room. There would be exit tickets from the students, collaboration with our teachers in regards to that. It was hands-on learning, creativity, etc. They were asking for $16,950.25. And then you have the application in front of you that's talking about the different criteria. And then an itemized list of the item and the cost. Okay, if I did it correctly. If I didn't, let me know.
You're the math.
Well, but I did use everything. So.
Are we good with that? Grant, should Diana move on to the next
Oh,
one?
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just waiting. I just wanted to see. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to go on.
So that was that one, with Mr. Marquez, the Makerspace. And then the second one, the grant. It's from Kathy Dana, a paraprofessional here at Weathersfield, up in the middle level, and DJ Esty, our school secretary. And they would like to get some additional playground equipment for outside. And one of the things that I liked and some of the Hicks-Nichols committee members, is it was going to be an equity for all children. So if a student was having difficulties with their motor skills and they couldn't do something, so it would help with all the abilities and increase their motor skills. And then if you look through the application, you can see it shows visual pictures of the different items that would be purchased for that. They would also like to get 3 industrial trikes at $250 each for $750. So those would remain in the building. These other things would be going outside. Big holes, pour the concrete, mount them, those sorts of things. Any questions from the board in regards to that application?
No, I also like that it is more inclusive for our playground. I didn't realize that our playground was hard to access for some students.
Right.
Great.
You know, to be honest with you, when I saw the industrial site, Barry does, she has the site coming in the fall. And I think about the younger students who aren't able to use those because of their limitations, and I'd like that the site would be accessible to that. That's what I personally like when I was on the committee. So, no questions from the board in regards to that, so you're okay with approving both of those? Just to let you know, just in case you're concerned about money issues and those sorts of things and how much we have and anything that we might spend. I had it here just a minute ago when I was going through my paperwork. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so we haven't done a Hicks Nichols grant in a while, right?
We didn't do any last year. So our Hicks Nichols was $62,900. And these 2 grants would be $38,495. And if they're approved, which they, I believe, were, we'll have $24,444 left in the account. We got basically the interest around $13,000 this year. So I'm not saying that we're going to next year, you know, but we have $24,000 left in to start next year off with. And then also, before I finish up with Hicks Nichols, Mr. Marquez and Ms. Dusty have been nice and been putting feelers out for looking for 2 members. Will Hunter and Denise Serduso were just 1-year term members. And so Vince Jewell, Terry Jewell's husband, would like to volunteer to be on the Hicks Nichols committee. And our other members would be staying on because we have 2 and 3-year terms. We'd like Mr. Jewell to come on and take one of our 1-year terms.
And does that leave you still with the 1 opening?
We still have 1 opening, yeah.
We put out in the newsletter that we're still looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need us to approve these 2 grants as well as to approve Vincent for the committee
That is
for a 1-year term. All right, so thank you. I'll put that down under our items for action, which we're going to do right now.
Do you need me to stay, Mrs. Redmond, at all, or am I free to leave?
You are free to go.
Okay.
If you want to stay, you can, but it's free to
Thank
go.
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diane.
Oh, did anyone have any questions for her? Sorry, I forgot to.
I did not because I was there.
Okay, all right, so now we are on to items for action. And our first item we had was letters of resignation.
Yeah, so we had 2 letters of resignation. So Megan Shambo, our SEI, and then Zach Shambo, our music teacher, both resigning because they're moving out of state. So they both gave me their letter of resignation, so.
There was a 3rd one in the packet that we received.
Teresa.
Oh, and well, Teresa White is a retirement.
Oh,
So,
okay, retirement.
sorry,
Okay, sorry.
I did that as a different one. I don't think of
Different,
resignation as that one.
okay.
I was like, wait, another one?
And so.
And
do we
Teresa
need to
White is
approve-
retired.
Do you need to approve all 3 of them or just the 2?
I believe all 3 of them, yes, sorry.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve or to accept the letters of resignation.
So moved.
Okay, that was Jackie. And second,
Second.
Mark will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, and next we'll move on to the approval of $113,000 to be moved out of the capital reserve fund for FY '23 for the building repairs and maintenance.
So move.
Mark is making that motion. Do I have a second? Jamie will second. I think since it's a big dollar figure, we'll take a roll call. Jackie,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Ann, I, Nicole, and Jamie. Aye. That's passed unanimously as well. And then we also have the Hicks Nichols grant to approve. Should we do them separately or together? Together? Okay, I'll take a motion to approve the two grants that the Nichols Committee has brought to us. One for the Makerspace and the other for the playground equipment.
So move.
Jackie makes the motion, second. Nicole seconds it. I guess we can do a roll call for this too, 'cause it's also better money. Jackie,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Ann, I, Nicole. Jamie, that's passed unanimously as well. Okay, and now we have setting the next agenda. I was wondering, we need to have a board retreat. We usually have it in June or July time. Are you guys feeling like we should have it in June or July, or do we need a meeting, like an official meeting next month? Well, I guess we do because, yeah, so maybe we should do the board retreat for July.
Yeah.
So we'll plan the board retreat for July.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me, Nicole. We forgot to approve Vincent Jewell for his term in the Nichols. So let me go back to that. I'll take a motion to approve Vincent Jewell for the Nichols Committee. Nicole, second. Jamie will second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That passed unanimously as well. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, thank you for remembering. I had it written down, but I totally forgot about it. Okay, so we're gonna do our board retreat for July. And just so you know, Nicole, it's not, we don't like go somewhere, it's not like a retreat like that, it's just the, you know, we have like a little like dinner, and we kind of talk amongst ourselves and talk about our hopes and dreams for the future, and it's not such a formal meeting like this. Sometimes we have it at members' houses, or we have like little barbecues or whatever, so, yeah, it could be like wine involved.
And Marie, with the expectation be that this would be at the regular July meeting.
This will be our regular, but not necessarily that, I guess,
We should nail that down.
Nail it down.
June meeting, I think.
yeah, we'll nail it down in the June meeting, yeah. As far as the June meeting goes, our regularly scheduled meeting is the same night as the 8th grade graduation. And I have a graduate this year, so if we could make it a different night, that would be good. So what do people have available for the second week of June?
Not the 8th.
Oh, actually, it could, actually, we could do it June 7th. Are there any other meetings on June 7th?
I'm gonna tell you in a second. June 7th is Hartland. Your regularly scheduled is June 14th.
Yeah. And that's also the 8th grade graduation. So we're gonna, so it can be anytime, the week of the 6th to the 3rd or the 13th.
How's the 9th?
June 9th.
Anything going on at
Okay.
school June
I
9th?
do not have any.
I don't see anything
No,
June
I don't have
9th.
anything on mine.
Scott's June 6th. Hartland's June 7th.
Yeah, so we're talking about June 9th. Everybody's good for June 9th?
June 9th work for everybody? Okay,
Okay, let's
All right,
make
take
it
it to the
June
next.
9th.
David has that event, but I'll let him know.
Oh, yeah, he has something now?
Meaning he has, that's a good point, I can check this out. Meaning he owns the event.
Oh, okay.
Weathersfield. June 9th, I don't see anything listed on his calendar. So that's what he means. All right, so June 9th, I'll let him know,
Thank you, Mary.
and I'll let Lori know too.
So we'll have, Weathersfield Scott Count will be done by then. Camp at Pride Night will be done by then. I was thinking about asking John Erickson to come in and give us an update on some of the new legislation that was passed.
Okay.
There were a lot of education bills passed this, so, be good to.
Will you have testing results then?
I will. Should we have testing results by then? Claire?
It'll be Mark.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't,
They don't come out till
they don't
later.
come out for a while. They're hard, right?
Right.
I think we can see,
Sometimes we get to your card form, like I hold you.
Yeah.
I'll check on and see what I can
yeah,
say.
we'll look into that. I think they're,
Yeah, California.
the state health.
Do we want to maybe have a report? Well, I guess it's part of your lead learner report, but maybe we might make it separate, just how our community outreach is going and, like as far as the community dinner, how many people we had show up from the community and, anyone have anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I might have really stepped out, I might have missed it, but we do award the Mario scholarship
Oh, that's right.
that night.
And then, I was thinking also by then we should know who the new interim superintendent will be. So
Yeah.
maybe, they could come to the meeting with David
Yeah.
or online at least and introduce themselves. That should be good.
Looks good. June 9th. Okay, before we adjourn, I know I mentioned this at the April 25th, EDSU board meeting, part of my finance and operations report, but I just wanted to thank Teresa White on 13 years of service and then hopefully enjoy her retirement.
Thank you, Teresa. Becky, did you catch the thing about the Mario Bavacqua scholarship for next time's agenda?
I got that. I think I might have missed one thing. I have update from John Erickson on legislation that passed, the community outreach dinner update, Mario Bavacqua, and then you talked about the new interim superintendent.
Yeah, just
Is
having,
there one other?
that was all.
Test
Yeah.
score.
Okay.
Anytime.
Are we gonna do test scores? I thought
If we have any information, we'll share what we have so far on test
Okay.
scores.
test scores, whatever's available.
Okay, and can I have, somebody last time sent me who was there, the last time I did meetings. I don't know who it was. It probably was BJ or somebody. But also all those new hires, there were too many names for me to. So any
BJ
names that were mentioned, can I get them sent to me? Like if
Yeah,
they spell. Or if there's a place I can cheat and look, I'll do that.
I'll send it to you.
Brian will send it to you.
Okay, thanks.
And then one more thing that I had before we adjourn to, speaking of BJ is now our confidential secretary here in Weathersfield. So should we got moved? So
And do we want to have an executive session?
a quick one,
A
please.
quick one?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'll take motion to go into executive session. Okay, Nicole made the motion, second. Mark will second that. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. We're gonna go into executive session.